By pressing play, you've been transported to a dimension where there will be no apologies given for the ridiculous and random comments made by your host and their guests. Thank you for listening and enjoy the experience. Ooh, yeah. Guess what's going on today, guys?
What is it?
You know what it is?
What would today be?
It's Monday,
And
but you
you
guys
know
were
what
hearing this
that's
on
about.
Friday. And what that's about is episode 13 of Yo, where the captions at? Yo, where the captions at? All right. Yo, where the captions at? Where I'm at is real hot right now. And what we doing being real on the block right now. Roscoe got the Dragon Ball hat for show.
Oh, I do.
You do. Your shirt says black men. We are black men. They can't pretend unless they can't see, but they can be tough in the LBC.
I'm not going to respond to that.
Word! And as always, I'm yours truly, Kels for show, aka the last swag bender. And with me, as always, is my bro host.
You know, the male tough in these streets, Roscoe.
And with us always is our engineer, our producer, the guy that makes this shit possible because he know how to work his fingers when it comes to that. Hey, yo, I'm sorry about technology.
Our Native American Freddie Benson.
Thank you.
Word.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes,
hello.
I'll be nice and friendly this time.
Yeah, when we're not recording.
Daniel Renegade Rojas. So you can't even do a grido because you ain't seen Coco, so you don't even know about that whole grido.
Boom, 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 boom. That's why I had to play the drum for us.
And joining us today on this episode is a newly acquired friend of a friend. Our special guest today, Shelby.
Hola.
Wow.
¿Cómo está?
We were talking about Coco. It's not my fault.
No, it's cool.
I
Like,
noticed she looked right at me when she said hola.
a language is a language. Thank you for being on today's episode, Shelby. Would you like to give our listeners a little info about you?
I don't know if I really have any info about me. I'm pretty boring.
That's fine. That is information. Like, you weren't prepared to give a whole essay or thesis paper like what I'm going to do with my future and my life. But that is fine. Boring. Guess what? Who else boring? We are.
Hell to the yes'm.
Because people think just because they see us out and about that we're just these fun guys that always get into weird and wacky situations. Nah.
No, we ain't in our 20s no more.
Oh, yes, Daniel, they have.
Oh, Daniel, you've only known us for a few years.
You have not lived in our skin and been through our experiences.
There is a reason why we are Troy and Abed.
Pimp. But for real though, because me and Ross was at the crib just kicking it, like just watching. What the fuck were we watching? I think it was 13 Reasons Why, the new season.
That new season is so good.
Really?
I liked it. That last episode had me so.
Whoa. All
Yeah.
right, we on episode 8.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a pin in that because
Yes, that's
Our
what we-
comment-
No
Commentary.
spoilers. Got it.
no, not even
it's not
that.
that.
No, it's been spoiled since that season started, but not in the way that you want to hear. But wording is hard. And while me and Ross were talking about the latest episode of 13 Reasons Why from the latest season, we realized that it is so ridiculous what we do in our free time when we're not around people. And people tell us things like, oh, you guys should have a reality show. We'll totally watch it. That'll be awesome. Like, no, it will not. We watched 13 Reasons Why while talking about an anime that hasn't been on TV screens in 8 years and how they should do the next season while having a conversation about a song that nobody probably even heard while discussing infinite amount of reason why this Disney Channel's Descendant is a masterpiece and they should
it is
continue
a
that
fucking
series on.
masterpiece. I don't give a fuck what anybody tell me. They can see me in these streets. I thought High School Musical was a masterpiece. Nope. This bitch is beautiful.
Oh shit. I
Yes,
did not
nigga.
realize Descendants does
Descendants go harder than High School, nigga.
After I finally watched the entirety of the High School Musical franchise, not including the new Disney Plus series, including Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure.
Every week with you guys.
We have a fun.
You're just shaking your head like.
No, that's the real life because people listen to this podcast because they wanted to hear me and Ross do what me and Ross do. And what do me and Ross do?
random shit?
With
You know.
a friend about some shit that we like.
on,
And
Freddie.
I pray to everybody that listens to us talk and just be sitting there like, I wish these dudes would shut the fuck up. I wish I could shut the fuck up in some instances too. I really do. I'm like, just keep my mouth closed. Contrary to popular belief, but sometimes that shit don't happen.
I keep my mouth closed most of the times, but when I'm around the people that I feel comfortable with, I can't help it.
But also, when you have a friend that has part of his soul locked in an infinite abyss of darkness, you have to hear about things that you'd be like, word, that's why we're friends. Because guess what? My soul ain't getting out either, nigga. It is stuck on soot. Because in a previous life, I was a smut. Smut is like a man slut. But, because after I was a geisha, yo.
I was only a geisha. I redeemed myself after that afterlife.
Nah, but after that shit, you was a British nigga. Because we both British niggas, but not at the same time.
Not at the same time.
But we can't clarify that yet. Because I was having a conversation while watching Avatar: The Last Airbender with Ross about how a lot of friendships and relationships in Avatar crosses over to the next life. It's like maybe that's why friendships are happen, because you just have that energy and a camaraderie from a previous life. That's why you gravitate
That's why I think we
towards
both
other
were
people.
pharaohs at the same time.
Nigga, for real, that could be. Hey,
At the same time?
At the
Yeah.
same time. Yeah, there was most.
I can't prove him wrong, and he can't prove me right, and him being wrong. So guess what? We all good, baby. So we might have been two geishas in the same block. Like, yo, I got your back, I got your back. We gonna stab these niggas in the dick, and we gonna ride out. We could be like Asian Thelma and Louise, nigga. Yo, bet.
Every week. Every
Bet,
week.
nigga, that shit might have been popping though. Now I need a geisha anime about them coming together, stacking up their coins, getting out the situation.
And send they stuff on free?
Yes, burn all that shit the fuck down. All that shit. It be Lucy Liu and the one chick. No, Lucy Liu and Agent May.
And there, we got to get a young one. So
Yeah, what you call it? Jamie, whatever that was in Real World, that was in Dragon Ball Evolution.
no, I was gonna go with Brenda Song.
Oh yeah. Brenda Song, gang. No, Brenda Song, an old shorty that married to Jeezy now from to Talk.
Oh yeah.
Updated, make it young, nigga. No racism. They look kind of similar.
They do, but I don't Brenda, though.
The slants a little at different angles, but that shit's still there, bro. Like, don't even do that.
I know, but I ain't never seen any of her acting skills.
So
And I want great acting in my movie.
you a hot line and a half.
True, but I need some guys. But I need at least 4 good actors.
All right, cool. 4 good actors. Anyway, if you listened to the show before, and if you haven't, our first segment is called Yo, What's Poppin', where we go around and talk about a couple of headlines in the world of geekdom. And I'm just going to start this one off with, a nice little rumor that's been going around. The fact that Beyonce has been talking to Disney. And with that being said, people took that as she's been talking to Disney about being in MCU, which, of course, since she's black, leads into her being in talks to be in Black Panther, which leads into her being in talks to be in Black Panther 2 to play Aurora Monroe, aka Storm, which is all non-factual. It's all just rumors. Yes, Beyonce is in talks with Disney because guess what she did? The Lion King. And Disney is always in talks with anybody that's popular in pop culture because they're always trying to work things out with them because Disney is a big business.
In their branding, they're just trying to expand their universe and their profit. So what better things to do than to get popular things and be in the hip?
Shelby, are you a fan of Beyonce or her music or anything about her person?
I have like a love-hate relationship with Beyonce.
Word.
I haven't listened to a lot of her current music, but when I was younger, I was in love with Beyonce, and that was all I would listen to.
Okay, so we're older gentlemen here. And when you say when you were younger, what Beyonce are you referring to? Destiny Child or like Crazy in Love, Beyonce?
Crazy in Love, Beyonce.
Word. See, we grew up with her from Destiny Child as a group before she blew up and became the female Michael Jackson of this generation. But no, like that, Beyonce featuring Jay-Z, Crazy in Love, it was an anthem. She came in, she changed the game. So like you said, you like that, but now you're like, you haven't really listened to it because have you matured in your taste, or your musical palette has expanded a bit?
I feel like it's partially my musical palette has expanded, but also I don't listen to the radio a lot. I'm one of those people, I listen to Pandora, pretty much solely Pandora, and I listen to
No
2000s
advertisement.
alternative music.
Whoa.
Like
Let's
Green Day, Blink-182, stuff like that.
Sum 41?
Yes.
Simple Plan?
Yes.
Yellow Card?
Maybe.
The Academy is.
Hawthorne Heights?
Yes.
Avril Lavigne?
Oh, I loved Avril Lavigne. I still do.
Why
I
you
didn't get
had
no
to
answer
go
for
and
the
make
Academy
these
is
so
because I mean you
complicated?
only said yes to one few by Ramen Group. You should have listened to all of them.
Who you talking to, me or her? Like you
Oh,
got
I'm sorry to Shelby because
Okay.
I know I made you listen to all of them.
No, you didn't make me do anything. All those artists I was already listening to just cause. Or when you even made me listen to Cobra Starship. I was already listening to Gym Class because of the radio.
Ooh, gym class.
Paramore radio, like most of that I was already listening to. If anything, listening to Gym Class made me go back into their underground indie shit.
Yeah.
That's the only artist I did. I take it back. And Paramore because I had to go listen to their official first
You're the one
album.
that introduced me to their underground, but I know I got their Gym Class underground to you though.
Well, yeah, definitely. Paper Cut Chronicles is a classic. We talked about that shit, but word. So if Beyonce were to be in a Marvel movie, would that make you feel a certain way, Shelby? Would you care less? Would it make you go more to that film or anything?
I think it would be really cool if she was in another movie besides The Lion King,
Word.
because she's such a great musician, and I would love to see what she could do acting-wise and see what she would be able to portray and how things would go down with that.
Word.
Random pitch. What if it's for live action Aristocats?
Fine with that because they can learn from their old cats, but that's where me and most of geekdom, especially black geekdom, would say to you, Shelby, we know how Beyonce can act, and she cannot. So we don't want her nowhere near Black Panther unless she just happened to be some random Wakandan music artist. But for her to play Storm, oh hell to the no. I protested for Black Lives Matter, and I will protest for fictional Black lives as well, because she does not need to be Storm. That is so disrespectful to that character, because they haven't got her right yet. She needs to be a dark-skinned woman who can act and have that gravitas. Because before Michonne was cast in Black Panther and the actress that plays Nakia was cast, I wanted either one of them to play Storm because they have that look, that African look, and they have that screen presence that Storm deserves. Beyonce will not bring that to the film, and that would be a bad idea. Almost as bad as Disney even thinking about Ronda Rousey playing Captain Marvel, and I'm done.
Random question. What about Gabrielle Union?
Yeah, that's fine. I would love Gabrielle Union to be Black Storm.
I think what would be cool is if you saw instead, you know how they set up in Oakland?
Yeah.
She's just someone who's helping out with the Oakland branch.
Are you talking about
Beyonce.
Aurora?
I'm saying, no, Beyonce.
So she really playing Beyonce?
Yes.
Oh, I ain't even mad at that. Oh, shit.
Beyonce
solid
and
idea. I like
Beyonce?
that.
Ooh, that's a
But
good
I
one.
would have no problem with Beyonce doing the soundtrack. I love the Lion King soundtrack. That shit was amazing. Like, I was so close. Like, I had to leave the white women alone. I had to give me a sister after listening to that soundtrack because that song Brown Skull Girl. I want to have a little daughter and sing that to her to let her know that she is magic. She is beautiful. I say this in jest, but part of me is real because in the world when I'm black is blacker than black, yo, that shit's not right for anybody that ain't me because we in there tearing shit the fuck down. And that's real spit. Ross.
What I have for What's Geeking is this Sunday was Backlash for WWE, and the small goods and bads I would like to say is Oscar and Nia Jax match ended up in a double DQ count out, which is being rumored to extend to another match at Extreme Rules July 19th for all those that don't know. Bobby Lashley lost his opportunity with Drew McIntyre for the belt, which was decent until the way that they ended, but
Tell him.
man, the greatest wrestling match ever, it wasn't. But in the standards of WWE, it was Edge versus
Don't do that to my boy.
It was in the words of WWE, yes, but the greatest wrestling match ever is Kenny Omega versus
Bruh.
Kazuchika Okada at Wrestle Kingdom. I don't know which one it was, but whichever one where Dave Messer made it a 6-star wrestling match. Shit's beautiful.
Have you not
They had
seen
3
Sting
matches.
wrestle Ric Flair in the Iron Man match?
Bruh, that match is dope, but they had a 60 minutes of pure greatness. I'm being honest.
Okay, but you guys aren't even talking about Nature Boy's last match.
No. I
no,
understand. No,
That
that may be one of the
yeah.
best story ring matches,
Yeah.
but guess what? That's been beaten by my boy Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes
Okay.
in
I'll give
AEW
it to you.
at All or
Best
Nothing.
story ring match.
No. I'm telling you right
I'm
now.
saying Nature Boy's final
That match versus Shawn Michaels was like a mercy. It was some old
It
yelling
was a
shit.
good story match.
It was a
They
send
but
off.
I'ma be-
Old Yeller.
But I'm gonna be honest, that was a good story wrestling match. But you have to watch Cody versus Dustin Rhodes all Double or Nothing 2018
Okay.
match. It beats that.
And he was old and a yeller. If you set me up, baby, I'ma spike it every time.
The disrespect.
But I will say the greatest setup match of last night will be the triple threat women's tag team match featuring the Iconics, one of my favorite female tag team groups. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross.
Alexa Bliss.
But the current best tag team right now, which are the tag team champions Sasha Banks and Bayley, WWE Women's SmackDown champion Bayley to add that.
Oh, she do got, it's Bailey 2 belts.
No, it's Bayley those belts. Yeah.
Bailey's Hispanic.
Yeah.
Oh, that explains the slants. Oh shit! I low key thought she was like black and something else.
No,
That shit-
Bayley.
Bailey's Hispanic.
Yeah.
Straight up Hispanic.
I want to say
What type?
Me-
Mexican, Cuban,
I
Puerto
want to
Rican,
say Mexican because she's
Honduran,
from LA.
Ecuadorian.
No, she's
Peruvian?
from San Fran. She's
from
from
Sa-
San Fran.
She might be a San Francisco treat. Heyo.
No, actually, she's Santa Fe.
Ah.
I want to
She
say.
a New Mexican. See what I did there? The Santa Fe's and New Mexico, y'all. Layers like a lasagna to this shit.
You're silly. But
That's me eating my.
regardless of the fact,
lasagna.
they're probably the best current heel female groups in the league right now.
Better than Iconics, because Iconics heel,
bruh,
right?
No, yeah, they heel, but they better than sir. They're setting them up for them to have.
Why do you call him sir?
No, I'm calling you sir. They're better here than Iconics right now, only because of the pure fact that they're both heels. They're secretly setting up the fact that Bayley and Sasha Banks are about to feud over the women's championship belt. And not only are they feuding about that, they're also feuding with everybody on the fact that their friendship isn't real, because a lot of people think that they're not a good tag. They're like their tag team is just for fluff. But the best thing about last night was the greatest cinematic match of this quarantine moment: Street Profits versus Viking Raiders. It's so good that that's the only thing Kelsey watched of last night's pay-per-view because it was that good.
Actually, the only reason why I watched that match only, because that's specifically the match he showed me. But besides that, I was waiting for him the whole time to be like, all right, I'm about to put it on the TV. Because I was trying to watch my girl, Alexa Bliss, do her thing.
Oh,
Little
you'd
Miss
be
Bliss.
mad.
But no. I just you be on your phone.
My
Do
bad.
your thing. Because I didn't know you had the information to get it. But I wanted to see my girl. And you would have said this from watching 13 Reasons Why. Because I was really trying to watch that shit. But I was like, shit, if you going to watch that, I'm going to put this shit on.
I'm gonna be honest, once you put it on, I got a little hook. That's why I stopped playing No Man's Sky.
Word. And I know we talking about a lot of wrestling things, Shelby. Like any good American, I'm assuming you have a favorite wrestler, even though you might not have watched a lot.
So I've never watched wrestling before, and that's why I am dead silent and have zero opinions currently, because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Word. Quick question. When I say the word wrestler, who's the first one that pops in your mind?
John Cena?
Booyah!
It took me a second, but I got there.
Okay.
Fine, I get it.
Stone Cold.
He's the Hulk Hogan of this generation. I'm not gonna get in that whole John Cena tirade that I always go into because we have other topics to talk about. Because we have other things to talk about, like Wonder Woman 84 getting a new release date. Now it is coming out on October 2nd. I was still hoping it was gonna come out August? Because I want to see that movie. I need to see that movie. This bitch is literally riding lightning. I'm not gonna get into why I like that so much. Tattoos in certain places. Anywho, but that movie looks like what it should be, and guess what that is? Anyone want to guess what word I'm about to use?
Wonderful.
There you go. Oh, you know me so well.
I do.
And also there was a little gamer news. A little console called the PS5 was revealed, looking like a whole swaggy ass anime villain.
Miles ahead.
Looking like the top head of Frieza in Form Level 4.
Word, straight up. Like if you don't follow me on social media, do that. I was sharing hella memes about that shit. That shit nuts. And they also released a trailer for the new Miles Morales Spider-Man game, which I have to get. I was already contemplating getting a PS5 because I wasn't going to upgrade to the Xbox X Series. Is that what it's called, Rob?
It's a Series X.
Series
I'm going to
X.
be honest, the only real difference that I've seen so far, stats-wise, is the Series X might have extra giga space, but today, on this Monday, Xbox announced the save library, which is now a new way where just finding out from this announcement, so I have to redact some old announcement. You don't need an Xbox One X or a Series X to play Infinite. As long as you have an Xbox One, you could play Halo Infinite. The higher you go with the better of the 4K and the 8K features, more features and better speed. But so far that I found out is it's transferable, as well as it's a new faster way of buying one game for one system and being able to play it on all your systems without having a problem. As well as I found out that the Series X might come in two module sizes, a 2 terabyte and a 1 terabyte. And I found out that rumor is that we might get new hard drives made exclusive for the Series X, where you could just take out the hard drive, take it to your friends, plug it in, and within instance with the save library, you could automatically just start playing the game without no time negated or everything.
Word. Cause I did notice that they had two versions of the PS5, one without the disc drive and one with. And that was also interesting as well.
And rumored is that the one without the disc drive is supposed to be $50 cheaper.
Yeah, hell yeah. And the thing too, that's the only reason I really was even planning on buying a PS5 is because I know Street Fighter 6 was not gonna be cross-platform, and plus I've seen that Spider-Man game.
You don't know yet.
I don't know yet. It still could change. But I seen that Spider-Man game. I knew they was gonna drop a 2. With the 2, I know they're gonna introduce more Marvel characters, and I got to play that game, especially if they're adding in Fantastic Four characters and Avengers. But what were you saying, Ross?
Just to actually correct you on this Miles Morales isn't 2. It is actually been confirmed to be a standalone. It's a short, full-length game.
Oh, yeah. No, I understand that it's a separate game, but I'm saying before Miles was introduced, I knew they was going to make a sequel.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Spider-Man PS, whatever it's called, was going to get a 2. I knew I had to get that. So I was thinking before Miles was announced, it was going to be that 2. But now that Miles is going to be like, oh, I have to get it now.
Oh, and also one thing I have found out is the PS5 is only backwards compatible with PS4 Pro games.
So it's not PS4 and PS3, it's just PS Pro.
It's just PS4 Pro games.
Because the Xbox X series is going to be 360, one
original and all that. So the backwards capability is way more better on.
And that shit's dope as fuck. But low key, like depending on how far you go, you don't. Because I'm assuming if you have Xbox games, you have a Xbox, so you already know how to play your games backward compatible. But then again, you might get some new people that want to play old games, and
And if the rumors are true, we're supposed to be getting Fable 4, and a lot of people want to learn how this world came to be, and Fable 1 through 3 are just magnificent.
Word. Are you a gamer, Shelby?
Not really.
That's fine. That's cool. It's just a question. Do you have any gaming system?
So I have pretty much all of the originals, like the original Wii, the original Xbox, the original
Wait.
PSP.
I'm sorry. My old man had to come in. When you said Wii, original for us is Nintendo NES. So you had the Wii. That was your first endeavor into the gaming for us Nintendo wise?
I don't know if I would say that was the first. I can't remember what Wii console it was, but my friend used to have like a bunch of the older ones, and we played on those all the time when we were kids, but they were never mine.
Oh.
So I didn't bother to learn the names of them because I'm kind of a horrible human.
Nah.
At least you know it.
Kinda. That means there's some
Like,
good
I
in
have
there.
the vague memory of it, but I couldn't tell you for the life of me what they were called and like what specific system they were.
That's what's
All
up.
right, it's all right.
And what would you say was your favorite game on the Wii, Shelby?
So if we're talking about like the Nintendo Wii, the one that I have, it's not even really a game, but I was one of those kids that I loved to play the Sing It game on there and just sit there and do the karaoke thing. And to this day, like I still go to Frankie's and whatnot. And
To
I'll do
this day?
karaoke.
To this day.
To this day, like
On Thursday-
I'll still pull out that game and I'll sit there and I'll just do some Sing It at my house by myself.
On Thursday nights at Frankie's?
I will do it at Thursday night on Frankie's. Yep.
If y'all know what that's about, guys, hey!
And it makes it better because my friend Sly is the one who runs it, and he married my aunt and my uncle, and so I've known him for a couple of years.
So it's not a throuple. He was like the aficionado of the wedding. Okay, just
Yeah,
making
he's
sure.
the one who officiated everything. To where when I go in there to do karaoke and whatnot, I'll walk up to him and he's like, "We have a pretty long list," and I'm like, "Well, if you just wanna bump me up real quick, Sly, that'd be great because I'm only here for like an hour." So I always get to like
Shit.
hop in front of people, or if he doesn't have songs, I'll message him and I'm like, "Okay, I want to sing this next Thursday," and he'll download it specifically so that I can sing it next Thursday.
All right, so what is your go-to karaoke song? Because I know Daniel's.
So my karaoke song is definitely "Kerosene" by Miranda Lambert. I love that song. Like ever since I was little, that's always been one of my favorite
That
songs.
kerosene? Yo, I start fucking with I start fucking with Miranda Lambert hard over the last 2 years because I've been working on my country playlist, and I just went back and started listening to albums that I haven't listened to. It's always been on my to-do list, but no.
Kelsey, what's my go-to song then?
It's hold on. You home with me, and you with another guy. What was that? Jet, The Doors, The Used.
Oh, you're talking about "Are You Gonna Be My Girl"?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That
That's
is your
a good
go-to.
karaoke song.
Because people.
That's
hear
totally
my
Daniel,
voice and
too.
They don't think that I can sing like that. It's that and "Fortunate Son" by CCR.
Do you have a karaoke go-to song, Ross?
You know I don't.
I know you don't. I just have to make sure. I don't either. So my black ass just try to sit the fuck down and listen. Speaking of black asses, but this one wasn't sitting down. He was standing up. Dave Chappelle dropped a new special like fucking 1:10 the other night, and I just happened to be in my bed laying down scrolling to YouTube, and I see Dave Chappelle Netflix. I'm like, this can't be new. Just upload it. Hit play. Let me see if it was. Guess what? It was absolutely brand freaking new, and it's called 846.
And just to let y'all know, it is not a stand-up special. It is just a special. Please don't get it confused because it's on Netflix's Jokes YouTube page.
But how can you tell me not to get confused when it's on Netflix's joke page?
Because he's a
when they're
comedian, and technically he only had like maybe 2 jokes in the 30-minute segment.
But if you think everything is funny,
I know, but I'm just saying like it was more of just him.
it's not a traditional stand-up special.
Yeah, it's not a traditional stand-up special.
Exactly.
Is what I'm saying.
Ross is correct. It's not a traditional stand-up series special. It is just a conversation that Dave Chappelle is having, not with just his audience, but the world, with some jokes sprinkled in. Did you happen to see that?
I have not, no.
Oh, you got to. Because I know you're an ally, but you got to check that shit out. Like, it's some real shit. Every time Dave Chappelle speaks, I listen. Like, he has to. Like he said in his special, we trust him. That's what we want to hear from him. But he trusts the streets as well to speak for themselves.
Did you listen to the watches yet, Daniel?
Oh yeah,
Oh, all right, my
it was
brother.
amazing.
Have y'all ever watched any of Josh Wolf stand-up specials? I love Josh Wolf. He is hilarious, and one of the best ones he's put out is called They Lie, and it's all about his son and how him and his wife went on vacation to Hawaii, and while they were gone, his son orders $200 worth of porn. And his dad
Sounds
goes
about
up
right.
to him and he's like, I have the facts in my hand. Like, I can show you. You ordered the porn. And this kid is standing by the fact. He's like, no, it wasn't me. It was grandma and grandpa. And so him and his
Wait.
dad
Was
just-
it Grandpa? Or that's what the kid said?
Yeah, that's what the kid's saying. So he doesn't have to pay for the porn. And he's just like, no, it was grandma and grandpa. And he's like, okay, I'll call them right now and I'll ask them if they ordered it. And he's like, okay, I want to watch you call grandma and grandpa and ask them if they ordered this specific porn. And it's just them trying to get the other to just say, like, yes, I did it, or, okay, I'm going to believe you, I'm going to let it lie.
Question. Is wolf with a silent E?
No, it's literally spelt like actual wolf.
Thank you. I'm about to check that out. I have seen a wolf named Wolf the Eve that's silent, but I didn't know if that was it.
Speaking of wolves, Ross, did you see the trailer for this?
No. Please inform me, sir.
That show on Netflix? About the wolves?
Lycans?
About lichens in college, nigga? Yeah, the Order Season 2 trailer dropped, and guess when it comes out, nigga?
Wait, my G.
The 18th, this Thursday.
Oh, you.
So that means we about to finish 13 Reasons Why
Oh.
in about 2 days, so we get ready for this Order.
Yeah,
and I
bro.
forgot everything that happened in that Season 1.
Low key, I might rewatch season 1 and then watch that season 2. Low key, are we gonna watch it on Juneteenth?
If it comes out on a Thursday, which is the 18th, 19th is the next day, I'm pretty sure we're not going to finish all that shit in one day.
Shit, a nigga like me could, but low key.
But you can't finish anything I suggest you finish, like Voltron.
Sabrina,
Keep,
and Key.
Unbreakable, Kimmy Schmidt,
Unbreakable,
Lock and
Kimmy
Key.
Schmidt.
You got all this shit. But hey, do what you want with
I
your
will,
body.
my body.
Because She-Hulk did not make me to judge you.
Hey.
She made you to love her. So do all that you need
And
to do.
I love her with all my heart. That's why she
better.
doesn't judge me, unlike you, judgmental face. The silence means it's correct because it is honest.
The silence only means you have the opportunity to speak and be heard.
And he's a mean person.
No.
Yes.
I'm a mean girl. You know why? Because on Wednesdays, we wear pink, bitch. Hey! You don't even go to this school! Okay, guys. When you're listening to this, it will be Juneteenth. If you're unfamiliar of what Juneteenth is, it's June 19th, and in the African American community, we celebrate that day because that is the day when we actually became free people in the state, not like when the Emancipation Proclamation was doctrined or came to be printed or whatever they said, freed the slaves. That ain't the real truth. Juneteenth, June 19th, and when slavery was quote-unquote abolished, it was the end to that shit. But if you really want to know the truth about it, Google that shit. I'm not an encyclopedia, even though I'm brown. Don't do that shit. Look that shit up. Do your research. Watch 13th on Netflix and all the other black shit Netflix puts in front of you as soon as you log on to that shit and learn yourself.
Also, to all those people, please play the latest Battlefield because they teach you about the Tuskegee Airmen. If
True.
you don't like Battlefield, please Google it. You will find yourself very shocked and amused to never know about this good history in World War II that they never teach you. Only reason why we know about it is because it's known as Black history. And if you don't feel like doing neither of those, please watch Red Tails. May not be good, but it
That's
does
true.
talk about the Tuskegee Airmen.
Word. And watch what I'm about to do real quick. Juneteenth, the day that African Americans became free, was also the date when the President Ananaranha, decided that he was going to do one of his rallies, which he has done in the moment, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where Black Wall Street used to be until the racist whites of this time burnt that shit to the ground, killing over 3,000 African Americans. And if you're unfamiliar with that, I'm not surprised because they try to wipe that from the history books. Even in Oklahoma, they don't even teach that shit. And if you watch the Watchmen TV series, the best TV series of last year, that shit was not fictional. That was a real event that transpired. And he decided to have a rally speaking about what he speaks about in that city, with that trauma still there that nobody really wanted to acknowledge as a whole front, on the day that we got free, shows you his nastiness, but he tried to come out like, I've done so much for the blacks. The unemployment rate is an all-time low. Obama never helped you, because Obama didn't care because he was half, so you have cared. But guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you what you want. Jobs. I'm not going to talk about that. I will talk about this. And guess what?
What?
His rally is no longer on Juneteenth. It's now on June 20th, a day after the fact.
Oh, he knew what was going to happen.
He did not know. Somebody got smart and finally got to him like, yo, that is not cool. Shit is already gonna pop up. Cause I was talking to Taylor, cause she stayed down there in Oklahoma, and she was talking about how shit's been bubbling up in Tulsa. Always been low key bubbling up since the incident, but especially with the latest protests and things of that nature, and Trump trying to pull this shit. I'm like, ooh, shit. But my thing is though, cause I like to be an optimist in his prime, but I have pessimist visions when it comes to certain things, especially when it comes to our people. That Al Sharpton declared that the next march in Washington would be in August this year. And all I could think about is, if this nigga Trump deployed military people to disperse peaceful protesters in front of Washington, what crazy shit will he try to pull if all these people are coming together? I don't know which anniversary, the 30th anniversary, the 45th anniversary of Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. I could see that shit going very nasty. I don't want it to, but just me being me and being how my brain works, I just could see all the fuckery happen. Especially when they already have people implanted in demonstrations there to incite chaos and create a narrative like, see, they can't do this. They don't want to do this. This is all a ploy for them to destroy.
You're thinking of the wrong worst way. You forgetting to think about the other worst way where he's gonna try to take credit for it, and then there's gonna be people actually giving him credit based off of a bullshit speech that he's probably gonna do.
See, I don't think that way, because that's the baseline. Like, yes, of course, yes, he will try to. Like, see how I let them just come to my city. I let them unionize. If I hated black people, I wouldn't let them be here.
Oh,
look at them. Look at them.
I'm not gonna go. I don't think he's gonna go that route. I think he's gonna make some BS speech, and they're gonna give him backshot footage of people at the rally, not showing anybody speaking, but him talking about it, and then that's gonna be broadcast on Fox News, where some of them people will be out there plotting them for doing good work.
And that's the thing too, because his base is some of the people, and some of the people are always going to have a view of thinking that aligns with his ideology, and that's why he continues. That's why he is where he is right now, even when facts would contradict the whole segment. But with that being said, guys, we already know what's popping, even though we gave you an insight to watch out what will be popping in a few months. Stay listening to the podcast.
Stay
woke. We will be talking about that shit. Like, we don't try to be too political and too heavy, but we have a platform, and with that platform comes a power, and with that power we have to speak our thoughts and our minds. And if you don't like what we have to say, guess what? Don't press play.
Sorry that we black, y'all.
I would never be. You don't do that. You don't speak for me. I'm black and I'm proud, nigga.
Oh, I love being my black.
Nigga, you don't even know. I ain't gonna get talking about my dreams. Anywho. We're coming to the best part of the show.
What is that part?
Yo, we geeking out, where we just geek out about a certain TV show, movie, anime, music artist, whatever the fuck you want to geek out about, because we geeks with one of our guests today. And of course, our guest, you heard her throughout the podcast, is one Miss Shelby. We are here to talk about arguably the greatest American-made animated TV series of all time. If you have a conversation with me before about cartoons, anime, or whatever, or you might have even been trying to talk about this TV show, but I have brought it up. It is none other than Nickelodeon's Avatar: The Last Airbender. And if you haven't watched this show, I'm just tell you what it's about real quick. There's an airbender. He's the last one. He was found by Waterbender and her brother. They gotta stop the Fire Lord from fucking up the earth.
You missing a key item.
No.
That airbender is an avatar.
But
What
still,
is an avatar, Kelsey?
No, they don't need to know that he's the last airbender.
I feel like the Avatar part is very important.
You'll get it when you watch it. But yes, he is the Avatar. And what does the Avatar do? Because I was trying to talk some more, but now you allow me to. The Avatar is the he or she has to master all 4 elements. Thank you for that. Earth, wind, fire, heart, sight.
Together, that's Captain Planet, baby.
Europe, earth, fire, water, and air. Because there are different nations that have the ability to bend said elements. And an avatar is the connection between all of them and the spirit realm. His role is to make sure the earth stays together in a sense. Even though people bigger and balanced. Everybody has to be represented. Everybody has to know their worth. But something happened to the avatar that he was gone for 100 fucking years. But then he came back. And he had to learn through this journey about how his actions then affect him now. And if you haven't watched this series, watch it. And when you do, intro to every episode gonna tell you what I just told you, but a more eloquent way. So with that being said, Shelby, how did you get introduced to Avatar: The Last Airbender?
So with Avatar, I watched a lot of Nickelodeon when I was younger. And that's what got me into it, is just seeing it on Nickelodeon and my friends always telling me, like, hey, you have to watch this. You have to watch this. This show's amazing.
They weren't wrong.
I got into it and I fell in love. It's, to this day, one of my favorite animes because it hits so many serious notes.
Like what?
Like, in a way, it tackles partially, like, racism. It tackles war. It tackles famine. Like, there's so many things it talks about that is good for younger kids to kind of see. And I know it was initially targeted towards kids, and I think that was a great thing for them to kind of see and grow up watching and understand, like, these are issues that we have in the world and things we need to confront and change.
Word.
Sorry to say this, but it wasn't technically an anime. It was an animated show because it was actually drawn in America, but people that are such good fans of this artwork and how dedicated that they put it in onto this show that we consider it anime. That's why
I was gonna split hairs about that aspect because
Distinction.
that slight distinction between the two, for lack of better terms, because I wouldn't consider it anime, but I'm not mad when people do because it's inspired by anime, but it's American made. Like Transformers, Thundercats back in the day, they were all Speed Racer. They were all designed and drawn in Japan, but for American audiences. So technically, they're not anime, but you could consider them anime if you just base it off the fact that they were produced in Japan. Either way, that's my same thing with Ruby. Ruby is an American internet created series inspired heavily by anime to be anime. Avatar is inspired by, but that's just splitting hairs. And yes, but like you said, Shelby, Avatar tackle a lot of adult things that most kids don't realize they're being introduced to. They just see fire, wind, earth, water. Ooh, shit! Wow, that nigga blowing shit up with his brain. So they don't sit there and be like, "Oh, this shit really relates to my life." That's how I like my anime for the most part. That's one of the things that drew me out of Gundam Wing on Toonami, because it was so heavily focused on the politics. I'm like, no, this is a cartoon. I'm young. I want to see robots fight robots. I don't care about space stations and colonies and shit like that. Show me some laser beams and some sword slicing and shit like that. But the Avatar found a way to do all of that without talking dumb to his audience. And that's one thing you don't see a lot in any medium.
y'all heard that, people. He called Gundam Wing a cartoon where he damn well knows it's an anime. That's how much he didn't respect it because it talked about politics too much. Had great story development, had great character development. Yes, it was heavily political focus. But guess what? When it's in a world of space where all they doing is fighting politically and trying to control the government and government controlling war, what you think gonna happen? Politics, baby.
And once again, Roscoe will always find the opportunity to be like, "Oh, he's Mr. Ice. Let me tell you about the time he had a fever. That nigga was so cool back then." Like, damn, I misspoke. just like your president does. I have the ability to reiterate. I would never disrespect Gundam as an anime series because Gundam Wing was part of my childhood. G Gundam is one of my favorite animes of all time. Shiny, burning fingers. Once again, another anime you did not partake into, so don't do that, but always do that, baby, because that's your choice, and you're a black man, and your life matters to me. So I'll let you speak with air in your lungs.
I may not have been a G Gundam fan, but who called one of the best Gundam Wings movies trash and stands by it by cold heart? Endless Wing?
I never said it was trash. I seen it once.
He said it was trash, America.
And guess what, everybody? Asa the Grouch has a house for a reason. Thank you. Exactly. Trash goes somewhere and somebody loves that. You like trash, nigga? If I had to break it down like that. Do I? I didn't want to, but I did.
Daniel, tell him about
Don't bring him in. He supposed to be silent. He Freddy over there, bro.
Freddy over there
You have a
balling.
whole-
That's
we
why
have
I
a
read.
whole guest that we should be incorporating into this
because
conversation.
I know Shelby's not a Gundam Wing fan.
Exactly. We're not here to talk about Gundam. We're here to talk about Avatar and Last Airbender.
We are. We will disregard this better.
I'm
So,
gonna have an aneurysm.
Avatar the Last Airbender. We all know the characters, but if you haven't watched it, I'm just gonna name a character real quick. Aang, the protagonist. He's an airbender. He bends air. He can do a lot of cool shit. He got a staff, a flying bison by the name of Appa. Appa needs to fly. You say yip with that shit. And Aang reminds me a lot of myself in ways because there's a lot of characters. Because he's a happy-go-lucky character, sometimes bearing the brunt of responsibility, forces you to do things that you don't want to do, especially when them shits are thrust upon you at an early age, like Aang. You're not supposed to find out that you're an avatar till you're 16. He found that shit out when he was like 12. Exactly. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta do this. I ain't about that life. I'ma run. And he ran, got caught in a storm, fell into the water. Avatar state activated. Him and Appa were frozen for 100 years. Perfectly fine. He on some Steve Rogers shit. Cause that Avatar state was his super soldier serum with it. And he was a young man living in a new world.
Old man that happened to be young, living in a new world.
A young man living in a new world. Then he would be betrayed as an old man, chronologically speaking.
But technically, he was 100.
That's what chronological means.
12.
That's what chronological means. That's mean times of the time.
Thank you, Shelby, for correcting
No,
me.
I'm just saying.
He
like,
was 112.
you just agreeing with what I just said. Like, that's what you're trying to do.
Posed to look like a 12-year-old.
He's not posed. He is.
No, he's 112 because he was frozen.
No,
100 years, baby.
don't count.
Oh, time
I
count,
feel like
baby.
it should technically count. Like, even though he didn't live or do anything during those years, he's 112.
You can tell that to From Futurama too.
Yeah.
Didn't they have a whole episode about how old he was?
Yeah. He ain't get no benefits. He ain't get no grandson specials.
I just
Fry
realized.
got his whole dog fossilized.
I just realized. he
Dolomite
got-
in him. What was it called? What was shit called?
Which one?
The material that Bender needed, the dolomite,
It was
dolomanium.
Dolomania or something like that.
Random fact. I just realized he was getting cussed out by his great grandson
Adore.
All the time.
all the time.
So you have Aang, the last airbender, with that blue arrow tattoo on his head from the Air Nomads. Shelby, would you like to tell us a little bit about Katara?
Oh, Katara. The list goes on and on about Katara. Katara is very, very strong. She's one of the only water benders within the Southern Water Tribe because the Fire Nation came and they wiped out all of the water benders because they assumed that they had killed the Avatar. And because of that, oh, you're shaking your head.
No, I'm saying it because I just watched that episode when she found out that her mother died protecting her.
Oh, that
when
was
she
so
went to
sad.
get revenge, with her and Zuko. That's why I'm doing that shit.
Oh, that
hurts
was
my
so
soul.
sad. But, so Katara is one of the only water benders within her tribe because the Fire Nation wiped them all out because the
True.
next Avatar in the cycle was going to be a water bender. they didn't want that to happen.
Oh shit. They always ahead of the curve, that fire nation. They killed the air nomads. They're like, well, you know how that shit happens.
Yep, so they killed all the air nomads thinking they got the Avatar, and then all the water benders to try and still stop the Avatar thing. But I thought it was so weird because after that, they never went after any of the Earth nomads, which would have been the next Avatar within the
No,
cycle.
that also why that nigga Ozai was like, after Zuko was in that meeting, then Azula came in, was like, we should burn it down. That nigga Ozai like, no, I'm the Phoenix King. We're gonna burn all the Earth Kingdom to the ground, just like my grandfather Sozin wiped out the air nomads. I'm gonna do this shit to the Earth nomads. So if he did that, there would be no Earth Avatar because they'd be wiped out as well. They quit to burn shit to the ground. Fire.
They tried. They failed very badly, though.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they tried to have Iroh go to Ba Sing Se and destroy that. He spent like 3 years there
Lord.
trying to get into Ba Sing Se,
the
break
great
down the
story
wall,
of
and it just
Iroh.
never happened.
Exactly.
And it was Azula who eventually got into Ba Sing Se. But that
On a
was
whim.
after the fact that they knew the Avatar was still alive, and at that point, it didn't really matter.
Hell yeah, and Azula didn't even have to do that. Azula went there with the sole purpose of bringing back Iroh and Zuko, but she was like, well, since I'm here, I'm gonna take over all this shit. And guess what? At 14, she did.
And
Ross.
I will say, she went about that in a very smart way, like attacking
yeah.
the Kyoshi warriors and then
And then
going there
pretending
and
to
saying
be
like,
him.
oh, I'm a Kyoshi warrior. I know
Infiltrating.
the Avatars here, like, they know the Kyoshi warriors. They trust us. Like, you should trust us. Like, she went about that in a smart way for a 14-year-old. Like, I give her Mondo props, though. She is a horrible, not character, but a horrible person.
Yes.
I mean, but
She's brilliant.
he did technically. I mean, their dad did technically raise them as prodigies, though, and she really was a genius if you really look at it, because she did master blue flames at like what 10.
No, that's not mastering blue flames. That's just powerful her flames are.
Yeah, and that shit.
Because her father didn't even have blue flames.
Yeah, and
And
she
he
has
has mad control fire. I just
Yeah.
realized that.
she has the blue flames because she goes solely off of anger, and she's
Exactly.
such an angry person
So
that her
pissy.
fire burns hotter than every other firebender.
Exactly, just like with science, when you look at suns, there's different colors of the sun. There's the yellow that gets Superman power, the red that he can't get powers from because on Krypton they had a red sun. Then you have the blue sun with the blue fire, which is hotter. Then you have the white. That's why if you start a fire, you see that blue. That's the hottest of the hots. And Azula's whole arc was something on itself. But just the fact that she was 14 just goes back into the other anime tropes that Avatar picked up from, because unless you a casual anime fan, you know every anime, these niggas are like 10, 11, 12. Like a fucking Digimon, they were like 11 or 12 at summer camp. They in a digital world with mouses. I would have shitted myself and died that first day trying to get Agumon and turn to Greymon and all that shit, man. It's nuts.
Yeah, most shoujin are based on young, like before puberty, which is one of them good tropes.
Goku was a baby
Yeah,
with a
that-
monkey tail.
That was one of them good, was one of them good tropes before anything happens. Like
Word.
mostly the youth is always outgoing, heartfelt, undetermined. So that's why they usually use it at a young age compared to the slice of life anime genre they give us.
So you want to talk about Sokka real quick and what he was about?
You know, the goofball of the group, older brother to Katara. One good man that had no bending abilities, but yet had the brains and capability to outthink the rest of the group for some odd reason. But yet also learned to master sword art. And then
Online?
yet, good joke. You almost got me.
Hey, when he said I got a good joke, you know it's good, because this nigga does not like to give me any flowers while I'm here. FYI.
But he learned how to master sword work, and then lost said space sword crafted by a space rock in his in the final episode. Still never known if he went to find it or retrieved it. As well as a man that has lost multiple girls but yet got multiple girls. The biggest one he lost turned into a moon.
Bruh. She literally turned into the moon. And that shit was written so beautifully and so, like, they set it up. Like, the foreshadowing was there, and the fact that they set it up and they continue to reference that throughout as a callback, it's like, yo, that's why I always love rewatching this series, because you forget things, and then you realize when you rewatch them, like, oh, damn, they did that shit. My favorite character is the Blind Bandit. But Shelby, would you like to give the audience a little tidbit about who that is?
Okay, so the blind bandit is Toph, and she's, what, 10, 11 years old. She's blind, and
she is.
Yeah, she's young. She's one of the youngest characters within Avatar for sure. And she's completely blind, but she is a phenomenal earthbender. She learned from the original earthbenders.
The Badger Moles.
Yes, the Badger Moles. So she learned from the Badger Moles, and she's just phenomenal. Like, she can't see anything, but she sees with her feet in a way. She can feel the vibrations through her feet. And that's how she's such an amazing earthbender, is if someone's behind her and trying to attack her, she already knows. She's the one who taught Aang pretty much everything he knew. She was one of the first metal benders there were, besides King Boomy.
Oh, no. Toph was the first. Boomy, in that episode when he broke free, he had rocks come into his...
Oh, yeah, that's right. He wasn't metal bending.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Toph was the first metal bender, and then she eventually taught her kids later on when you get into Korra.
The Bayfongs.
But she was the first metal bender because she was such a powerful bender. Just like how Katara was such a powerful bender and she could do blood bending when there wasn't a full moon.
Exactly.
Like, Aang had so many good benders around him, and he learned from the best of the best pretty much, especially for what their ages were, and they were able to outbend everyone else.
Exactly.
Oh,
Especially when
because
it comes to
he did
lightning
learn-
bending as well.
He did learn how to retract lightning bending from
Zuko, who learned from Iroh.
Yep.
And Iroh created the redirection technique.
Yeah, and he learned that from water bending techniques and whatnot. And that's why when Zuko and his dad fought, his dad didn't expect Zuko to be able to redirect that lightning, and he was super shocked
Blew that
when
shit
it
the
happened. And he
fuck
was
up
like,
in
"What?"
his face. Hell yeah. And speaking of Zuko starts off as the main antagonist, but I know we don't consider, some people may not consider this anime, but even in animation, straight cartoon, Western style, and anime, Japanese style, this nigga Zuko has one of the best story arcs, character development stories of all fucking time.
Absolutely.
Going from where he started as just an asshole, then you realize he did it to get respect of his father. Then his mother, quote-unquote, died to protect him. For him to team up with the Avatar after his sole purpose was to capture it. After he treated Uncle Iroh like shit, and Uncle Iroh was the only one that loved him and wanted to see him prosper. It reminds me of a scene in fucking Batman: The Dark Knight Rises when Bruce shits on fucking Alfred. I'm like, Alfred raised you as a son because you had no father. You are his kid. And Bruce, you're mad at Alfred when that nigga Zuko snapped up Iroh, like, yo, he loves you so much. But then when Zuko come back like, I'm sorry, uncle. And his uncle's like, yo, I love you, Zuko. I just thought you lost your way. That's a bad impersonation of him. But anywho,
My heart.
every time I watch that moment with him and Zuko, or any moment with Uncle Iroh being Iroh, it touches a part of my heart, and I break down inside. And Zuko is legit, too, because he learned, like, your past doesn't have to be your future. You could be a better person. I think a lot more people need to watch this shit and learn from Zuko, especially in this time and period. Even not for the people that fuck up, just for the people that like to cancel people, quote unquote, and say they're horrible human beings. We have the right to fuck up, and we have the right to evolve and to be a better person. If you catch me fucking up right now, that's just one step of me becoming a better person later. Don't let my shit now affect what I can be, because we all live a long life if we're lucky. So we should be able to bend our present into a better future.
That was all types of trash.
And so I love how
Peter.
in the beginning Zuko has such a bad rep until we
Yes.
understand why he's doing what he's doing, but you can tell he has so much love for Iroh.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's one point where the Earthbenders take Iroh and they capture him, and Zuko's going after him to get him back, and he literally sees Katara flying on Appa, and he's like, oh, the Avatar, like, this is my chance, I could go get him. But instead, he decides to say, screw that, I'm gonna go get Iroh. Like, he's my family,
Yes.
he's been there for me.
Then he throws the mask
Iroh. Uncle Iroh is massive, aka the Dragon of the West, because you get a term from being, you get a title of dragon in Avatar by killing a dragon, just like you get knighted by the queen. and Iroh said he killed the dragon. He didn't. He let these dragons live. Fast forward, the dragons teach Zuko and Aang the true core, the true essence of what it means to be a firebender down the line. And it's an amazing story. Uncle Iroh is easily one of the best created characters in animation, period. Like, you may have seen memes talking about, like, every now and then you just need to rewatch Avatar to get some Uncle Iroh in your life. Yo, it's true. I was going through some shit. Not a lot of shit, but just feeling low-ish at that particular time period of the day. Uncle Iroh comes on, says his wisdom, drinks some tea. I'm like, you know what, Iroh? You are absolutely correct. I respect that because you don't have to yell. You don't have to talk down to a person to get your point across. And just to let them know, life gets better, man. Life gets better.
Iroh's definitely the best. He's one of those people who will give such good advice, and he has, like, infinite wisdom. And it doesn't matter who you are. Like, he'll sit there and he'll have a conversation with you, and he's like, okay, let me share a little information with you and try and help you with your life. No matter who the person is, whether they were trying to screw over Zuko and Iroh or whatever else is going on. Like, he was always there for people and was such a wise character.
Yes.
And I feel like you don't see that in a lot of other animes.
Word. And just like with most animes, we can't go without talking about the animals. The animal companions. There are mad combinations in this show. You got turtle ducks, turtle lions, like fucking armadillo tigers, just mashed up together and make it.
We found
unique.
out that they have camel elephants, but
Yes.
never showed us them.
Just like in Game of Thrones, the Lannisters are lions. I ain't seen not damn lion in that whole fucking series. Anyways, but yes, exactly like Ross said. You have all these combinations, and it also makes Avatar unique because they have these different amalgamations of animals, but yet they still have traditional animals in it. But the two main animals of the series are none other than Aang's flying bison Appa, and the episode when they showed when Aang met Appa was like, oh my god, like that shit was adorable as well. And then Momo. Boomy was always concerned about Momo, and that was a running gag that worked so well in that series. And you can't talk about the show without asking a certain couple of questions. So I'm just gonna ask a couple of questions real quick as we come to, like, you know, the end of this episode or getting towards that. So I'm gonna ask Ross, favorite bending style.
Oh, that's earthbending without a doubt.
Or you want to expand on why that is?
Because I am partially blind, and if I was to go full blind, I would learn how to earthbend as a blind man and be able to walk amongst the earth without having problems.
Word. Shelby, what about you? What's your favorite bending style?
I really love firebending. But every time I take one of those quizzes that says, what bender would you be? I always get waterbender.
But water is the opposite of fire, so maybe your desire to firebend isn't as malicious as they want to credit it to be. Because firebending doesn't come from just destruction. It's also a part of life, what we learn with the dragons and the fire dance. Like, no, it can destroy, but it also could bring up new life as well.
Mm-hmm.
Word. That's what's up. Oh, for me, it's easy. It's earthbending all day. Like, just the technique and just the way you can construct the earth around you just makes me feel like that will be my shit. And spoiler alert, not real spoiler alert, but like, I'm gonna let you know how the sausage is made. Because people really think me and Ross, well, I'm not gonna speak for Ross. People really think I'm out here dancing when I used to before Corona. Like, oh my God, he's so amazing. Oh my God, look at him. No. 67% of the time, I'm just earthbending on the dance floor. And people don't notice that. If I don't know what I'm doing while I'm dancing, I'm a earthbend, I'm a firebend. That's my go-to, is my next is a firebend. I will waterbend, I will airbend, especially the EDM, because it's all about trance and being fluid. But no, like, that's what I do, and that's what I take inspiration from, because dancing is one of my favorite things to do, and Avatar is one of my favorite TV series. And a lot of all the bending elements are based on martial art forms. From tiger to leopard to mantis to monkey, it's all incorporated into that shit. So me personally, like, earthbending would totally be my shit. I don't think I would be a metal bender, If you watch Korra, I think I might be more of a lava bender. But then again, I don't know because it's not real. So, if I'm just gonna guess, Ross,
Yes.
if your favorite style is Earthbender, does it automatically make Toph your favorite character?
Oh, without a doubt.
Word.
A young kid that talked all the trash, but yet had all the skills to back it up. One of my favorite things about anime, another anime trope.
Word. What about you, Shelby? Who was your favorite character?
So mine is like top 3. Because I can't pick between these 3. I love them so much. And it's definitely Zuko, Iroh, and Sokka.
Fire, fire, water. Yep. Word. Why is that?
So Katara used to be one of my favorites, but
For real?
yeah, I used to love Katara, and I still do. But now that I've grown up more and I'm watching it again, I realize I'm so much like Sokka. It's not even funny. Like I make the worst puns on this earth.
No, you
And-
don't.
Oh, you haven't heard my puns yet. They're not.
You
great.
haven't heard me.
They're not good.
You have not been around me
Like
long
every
enough.
time Sokka makes a pun and everyone else in the room is dead silent, I'm laughing so hard I can barely breathe. I love horrible puns. And then I just love Zuko because of who he is and his character arc and how he goes from being the bad guy to being a great guy and helping out the Avatar. And then with Iroh, just his infinite wisdom and how sweet he is. And his love for tea because I love tea as well.
Sweet tea or unsweet tea?
Unsweet tea.
Ah.
Stuff like jasmine tea, Earl Grey.
I'm sorry, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect, Shelby.
I love tea, like in its most bitter of forms. Same with coffee. Like I drink my coffee black. I like bitter. It's bitter, and when I drink it, it makes me less bitter. So I feel like it's a
The
good
least-
combo.
The least
Okay.
coffee looks like myself, the better it tastes.
I will agree to that.
I might have
'Cause
to
he
cut
hates
out
me.
all the bits.
Yeah,
Word.
I love everything bitter. Like even when I drink, like I'll do just straight shots, or I can't do fruity drinks. Like I'll do a Jack and Coke.
So it was just straight alcohol.
No, it wasn't. I promise there was soda in this.
You smooth drinking blueberry, wild, blackberry.
Yeah, and this
Not
is
free.
like almost too sweet for me. But I like it. But it's really sweet for me because I like everything very
Word.
bitter. And I think that's why I like
Damn.
Zuko too, because he's bitter in the beginning.
Well, of course, just like Ross, if Earthbending's your favorite style. My favorite character, hands down, fucking Toph, all day. Not because of the reason Ross says, but it'd be like, because she's, I didn't realize till I just now start rewatching it. Because she's low-key 80s Raphael. She's the sarcastic one, but she holds her ground down. And she just knows who she is, but she also knows how to have a good time.
Ooh. I will have to go with the introduction just because she was fighting grown ass dudes and won all that money in that tournament and showed like made that dude do the split. So that was just the introduction of like, yo, this is how powerful she is. Just wait till you see how powerful she's going to be.
My favorite top moment probably would be when they had to fight the Fire Lord and she ran up into the war balloons and put on a whole metal armor and fucked the motherfuckers up with the metal, then brought some earth with her just because it showed that she evolved metal bending that quick when she just gonna wrap herself off like a poor man's Iron Man, a bootleg Colossus, and handle her fucking business and get down. And Avatar. But if we're talking Korra, it's just the fact that she fucking showed up in the first place and called Korra Twinkle Toes, because that goes back to the whole time about friendships lasting lifelines. And it was like, I don't know you from this life, but I knew you in the previous life. And I almost cried. I could weep anytime I see this.
I just realized you asked for our favorite episode. Kelsey just gave out moments, but my favorite top moment.
No, because one of my questions was
What's
what
your
episode, but
Because-
that was my favorite moment in the episode. That's why I specified that.
Because my favorite top moment would be when they were robbing in the Earth Kingdom, and the bandit wanted poster came out, and it was like, you see this, and she's like, "What's wrong with y'all? I'm blind."
One of my favorite Toph moments has to do with her like making fun of her blindness as well. And it's where they're going to find the library in the middle of the desert.
my
Yeah.
gosh!
And she points and she's like, "It's over there." And everyone looks and she just waves her hand in front of her face and she's like, "That's what it'll sound like when one of you guys see it." Like that was one of my favorite moments.
Oh, then there's one episode too when they kept telling her like look at this. And she's like, I can't. You keep telling me to look at this shit.
That's the bandit episode.
The bandit episode, yeah. But it's saying, like, yeah, it's like multiple times they keep telling her to read shit and shit. Do you have a favorite Avatar character? I know you do, Daniel.
Oh, it's tough.
I'm the odd man out.
Cause
I'm
you
the only
always
one who
tough.
doesn't have Toph.
No, it's okay.
It's been
okay.
tough since day one.
But Toph is a phenomenal character, though.
Exactly.
And she's super strong, and I do love the fact that she makes fun of how she is blind. Like, when...
she doesn't let it hinder her.
Yeah, she doesn't.
Yes, exactly.
She doesn't let that set her back, and she's like, okay, so what? I can still do everything I want to do, and nothing's going to set me back.
Exactly. That's why I found a way, if you don't watch Screw Tech, like I do, they had Toph versus Gara, and Gara's also one of my favorite characters from the Naruto series. And that shit was a good-ass battle. Check it out. I just had to bring that shit up randomly. And the last question before we get to the Yo Check It Out segment. If you could have a spinoff made about any character, whether it's a graphic novel, manga, or just a TV series, which character would that be? I'm going to start with Ross.
Oh, well, Kelsey's gonna probably agree with me, but it might be one of the greatest Avatar people in the world.
Let me rerun that back. Not an Avatar. Just one of the characters from the series, not an Avatar.
From the series? Because
yes.
I was about to, you know.
Yeah, I already know you don't say Kyoshi, yeah, because we already talked about it.
All right, if I have to go with the series, I'm gonna be honest. I would like to see an animated, or if in this live action they give us that Zuko, the manga on the Zuko after effects, and him and Azula finding out the truth about their mom and whatnot.
Oh, all right. So it'd be Zuko's getting a spinoff about finding his mother. So basically the arc from the graphic novel.
Yes.
Word, respect. What about you, Shelby?
Okay, so if we're talking about Avatar characters who aren't the Avatar, God, I would say I kind of want like a prequel almost about Iroh and seeing his life like with his son and him trying to take down Ba Sing Se and see his journey throughout. Because I feel like Iroh and Zuko are so similar, and I think that's why they get along, is they both started out as a person who was kind of looking for power in a way, and they realized, I don't need that power. Like, all I have to do is be happy with myself and be kind to other people, and that's what's important.
Yes, because that was totally going to be my answer was Iroh. Go ahead, Ross.
I would like to retract my statement.
No, you're not.
I would
Go
like
ahead.
it to be about the White Lotus.
Word. And for me, I would have, like I just mentioned, I was going to go with Iroh, because that totally would be the story I want to see. See how he became the Dragon of the West. What led him to be more of a pacifist and join the White Lotus when the Fire Nation is also destructive. That would have been a dope series to see. But with that being taken, Ross said what he said, and just watching the last episode, I think I might want to go with old shorty with the Bloodhound Weasel aardvark.
Oh, that one girl?
Like the assassin type chick that Iroh's in love with. Like,
I
I forgot what her
remember
name
her
was,
name.
but that would be cool. Just seeing her go around beating up dudes that look like Ryu in bars, and just getting like, it could be some Suicide Squad shit. Like, she be the main, she creates a squad, they go around, they pull capers, she get her bounty and go about her day, and she don't need no man. It could be like Avatar Xena. And with that being said, we about to go to Yo Check It Out, where we give you
check it.
Yeah, out. Where we give you recommendations of things you should, of course, check out if you were a fan of Avatar The Last Airbender, or if you want to watch something like it before you dive all the way into that shit. So I'm gonna start with Ross. What would you recommend for somebody to check out?
Ooh, what would I recommend? I would have to go with. Ooh, I have a plethora of. I would have to say pass and come back to me later.
Word. Okay. Shelby.
I got this. Mine would definitely be Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, just because I feel like, in similarity to Avatar, it has its serious moments, but it has its funny moments. It has those friendship bonding moments. It's such an amazing anime.
And is that the second series that's focused more on the manga, or is that the initial first one?
Brotherhood's the one that
Right.
focuses more on the manga. The original was where they did like the first 28 episodes off the manga, and then they did their own thing after that.
Word.
But I definitely recommend watching the first 28 of the original to give you a more in-depth idea of what's going on in the first 10 episodes of Brotherhood.
Nice. Word. Okay, cool. Ross, back to you.
Back to me. I'm going to go off the Richter scale. A little different.
So you don't get it rocking?
You know it. Little different. I'm going with an sports anime. Yes, I said it. And said sports anime shall be named All Out. Only reason being is because it's... Well, actually, no. Yes, All Out. Reason being is because it's a small kid who loves rugby but never learned how to play it, gets in the high school team, learns it, and is trying his best to be good at it, as well as growing a bond with his teammates in friendship and, learning the sports of rugby. I know it's out there. I know it's random. I know it may not follow the Richter scale, but when I think of Avatar, I think of a young kid mastering what he wants to master, which is the elements, something he's passionate about, yet not passionate about. But he's doing it for a greater cause.
Word. So I'm going to go with 2. Because the creators of Avatar Last Airbender has 2 Netflix original series. One being one that's more closely associated to the themes of Avatar The Last Airbender, and that'll be Dragon Prince, which is dope. If you like, it's almost the way Black Clover feels like Naruto. It's very similar, so it could even off-put you. You could be like, oh, this feels like too much like Avatar. I should watch Avatar. Cool, but if you fuck with it, it's legit. With Ross, another anime that he's hasn't been fucking with. And then it also, but you ain't caught off in the last 2 seasons, of course. There's been multiple. And also Voltron Legendary Defenders, which is arguably the best. You can't even say that because you didn't finish the whole series. Don't
I'm
do
only
that.
1 season left.
No. 1 season and the full season. The best reimagined animated cartoon series of all time because it is better than OG Voltron. And I'm talking about the lions and the cars and the one that had on WB Kids too. That shit was damn near perfect. I have little nitpicks here and there. And also, whoever does the voice of Sokka does the voice of Lance on that series as well. Fucking Voltron is dope as fuck. It's well-written, animated, character development. Mwah!
And for those that didn't like the Christianity input in the original Voltron, be happy it's not in there in this remake.
Yes, it is.
Not as heavy though.
It's not heavy in most things.
But it was
But it's
hella
still
heavy
there.
in the original.
It's not heavy in Superman or Goku, but it's there. Anyways, guess what, guys? Sad to say,
Freddie
that's a
told us
wrap.
to shut the fuck up and get off the mic.
Yeah.
Don't ever tell me to do with my mouth. It makes me money. Honey. Word. Alright. I want to thank everybody that has been a part of this experience today. And most importantly, you guys that decided to listen to this entire episode. Not y'all that is skipping in between, but still, thank you for showing up for the tag. Still worth a little bit in the end. So I want to say thank you to Shelby for coming in and blessing us with your presence and your knowledge of all things Avatar.
For sure. Thank y'all for having me on.
Oh, the pleasure is all ours. Thank you once again, Daniel, for keeping us in line. You can't see me, but I'm doing quotation marks with my fingers right now.
He's not.
No,
I know.
you're not.
Because this is all a simulation.
Alright, Westworld.
Don't you do that.
Ooh, it's too late.
I ain't like that. That's neither here nor there. but
You're a hater though.
To hate means I have the capacity to love. And I love a lot of things. But no things louder than I.
Alright, Madara.
Nigga, I came back from death.
I know, that's why I called you Madara.
Exactly.
Goodbye, guys.
And always, remember, guys, we love you. Take care of each other. And be the change that you want to see in the world.
Peace, love, and happiness, y'all.
And as always, guys, be one or be nothing. Thank you. Be blessed.